See that guy there? This is me at my baptism. That guy over there, that's my buddy Shelby. Wait a minute. What the heck is that? Look at Shelby's neck. Do you see that? Didn't he know what he was getting into? By the way, this is my dad. And I'm going to tell you a story about me and my dad. I was born in Edmond, Oklahoma. That day at the hospital was the last day my dad held me. My dad left my mom and me in the parking lot. Me and my mom traveled around the country for a while together, sleeping in the car. She eventually left me with my grandmother. One day, Grandma said, "You're going to live with your mom in Milwaukee, Wisconsin." I get to Wisconsin and find out I have a stepfather and stepbrothers who I never met and really didn't know anything about. I just felt like I didn't belong. I started rebelling in school, not doing homework. This led me to a juvenile detention center. But this is when I started shutting people out really and staying to myself and only worrying about myself. When I got out, living with my mother and stepfather and brothers didn't work out at the time. So I ended up being adopted by my best friend's family. She went and got her foster's license just to foster me, just to be my legal parent. In this process, I had to go to a courtroom and watch my mother sign away her legal rights. This just affirmed to me, at least in my mind, that my mother did not want me. My middle brother, his name was John Tay. His life dream was to go to Nebraska University. Yeah, I had a brain aneurysm in the college dorm bathroom and never came back to life after that. It really made me question God at the time. I've been abandoned, I felt like 3 points at this time in my life. And no one could tell me why my brother died. One night I'm sitting in my room, foster mom, she comes down and says, "Here's your dad's phone number." I haven't heard anything about my dad in 17 years. When I was younger and felt like I wasn't involved or didn't belong, I would visualize my dad as being this great hero somewhere where I can go and be loved and be accepted. So I called him that night and we just chatted. We started talking about what it is he does, and come to find out my dad is a preacher. Later on that year, around Christmas, I moved to Rockwall, Texas with my dad. I lived with my dad until the end of high school, and I moved back to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was lucky enough to have my father marry me and my wife Cindy on October 10th, 2009. A couple years later, we took a leap of faith, and I said, "Babe, let's move to Dallas, Texas." Turns out it was one of the best things we ever done. When I first came to the Quest, every Sunday I'd come in and sit down by myself. This tall guy named Shelby would come to me and hit me on the shoulder every Sunday and say, "Hey Eric, how's it going?" Between him and just God's power, God really started letting me people in to kind of help break down those walls. I was still a little hesitant, I'm not sure if I want to go every weekend. I mean, the Cowboys play on Sunday. Then they started talking about baptism. So I called my dad. I said, "Dad, it's time to get baptized." He said, "Well, what brought this on?" I said, "It's not my choice." This is one of the first times that I did something that wasn't my choice. I knew that my dad wanted nothing more than to be able to baptize me. I said to my dad, "We're standing in a pool in the middle of the Quest Church." And he whispered in my ear, "Son, it is a pool, but it's much more than a pool." And it wasn't until later on that night I thought about it. I was giving my life to Jesus Christ that day. And my dad was doing it. Ever since the day when I first met him, called him on the phone, he's been there. "Dad, I need to talk to you about this." No matter what I was told about him or the world wanted me to believe about him, he wasn't a bad guy to me.
If I told you my story, you would hear hope that wouldn't let go.
It's wonderful to walk with my son. Particularly just recently, I had the privilege of baptizing him. And he said to me on the phone, he said, "Well, now our relationship, our common ground is the Lord." And I don't know that there's more precious words that a dad can hear than those. Dads, just pray that you'll take this as an opportunity for you to lean into your relationships with your kids and continue to trust the Lord for what He has for you. He's done an amazing thing for Eric and I pray that He does the same for you.
I really just want people to know that God can restore any relationship. It doesn't matter if it's with your spouse, your parents, your brother, your sister.
Justice was served.